ChatGPT?
All these questions.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
all.
There are great guys out there. Like, they're not all bad. I'm not going to let a couple bad experiences tell me that all men out there are like that. I've had to work very hard on that mindset.
Imagine having 2 girlfriends. It sounds like a lot of work. You know? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that would be awful.
He claimed it wasn't his girlfriend, but it was his girlfriend. I have a question back to you. What do you think about people that stand before they wipe their ass?
We're good to go. Okay.
We're so good to go.
So you've been on a live dating podcast before though, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I have.
And how did it go?
It was an adventure. I'm a different human being compared to that one, but it was an incredible night. It was super fun, funny, entertaining. I met some good people, and yeah.
Why were you hesitant in the beginning there when you were saying that?
I know we previously talked about it a little bit, but I'm not a big drinker, and I was very intoxicated on that show, and I was swearing a lot, and just, I was pure entertainment, which is what they want.
It's
So
good
that
for
works.
ratings. It's good for ratings.
But as well, what was like 2 years ago or something. I definitely was not in the mindset that I was even wanting to entertain like a serious relationship. So that definitely is shown through my actions and my words and everything. But like I said, I am a different person since then.
Okay. This is a cuss-friendly podcast, so
Yes.
you don't have to hold back too much if you don't want to. And then I also want to ask, why do you always carry on beef sticks?
Beef sticks, because it's really good at making sure if you're eating a snack or candy or something, you don't have blood sugar spikes. That helps everything. They say you always want to make sure that you are dressing your carbs, which means if you eat a carb, you need to make sure that you're either having protein or fats with it. And I have like an autoimmune disorder and like stuff with my thyroid, so that's very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have one in your purse right now?
I actually don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you also do like, exercise. So what are you again? Okay. Sorry. Is it a physiologist? Is that it?
I'm an exercise physiologist.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you're a yoga instructor,
Mhm.
and then like holistic healing. You're big into that and stuff.
Yeah.
Can you fix our sleep schedules?
Oh my gosh,
They're
I would
pretty
love
bad.
to. Circadian rhythm is so important. I'm happy to step up and help you in any way that I can. There's all sorts of tips and tricks that I can give you. So.
Yeah, I stayed up till 3:30 last night watching the second season of Severance, and I should have just went to bed.
That's a good show, though.
Mhm.
I'm on, I think, season 2, episode 4.
Nice.
So
Okay.
I get why you're staying up late, but you should stop.
It's
that.
very good. But anyway, welcome to the podcast,
Yes.
Brianna. I appreciate it. It's Amendola last name. Okay.
Yes.
You related to Danny?
No, I'm not.
Okay. You get that all the
Everybody
time,
asks that.
probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How? What's your age? If you don't
I'm
mind me asking.
29.
29. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. How long have you been here?
I moved to Colorado about 7 or 8 years ago, and I was up in Boulder for a little bit, and then in Denver ever since then.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So just overall, you've seen the dating scene around here. What are your thoughts on it overall?
Yeah, I think honestly it depends on like the lens that you view it. I met somebody out here and I was in a really great 3-year relationship with them. So I got to like get that side of it. Like there are really great men out here. And then after that relationship ended, I did meet some other good men, but also it was a lot. And I think it's because like I spent so long and like I was in a 5-year relationship, like 17 or 18 until like 22, moved out here single for 6 months. And then I met my last boyfriend who I was with for 3 years. So after that, I was like, wow, I feel like I'm actually single for the first time in like my adult life. And part of it was like, I'm ready just to like meet people, have fun, kind of see what I like, what I don't like. And I like the Denver dating scene in the sense that I feel like I'm more drawn to like unconventional men in a way, like ones that are like entrepreneurs. They don't have a normal like 9 to 5. I made a joke earlier. If you look like a criminal, I'm probably attracted to you. Heavily tattooed, like nose rings, stuff like that. It's not my only type, though. I definitely date people that have 0 tattoos and none of that.
Mhm.
But
You should just hang out on Market Street over here, like after 2 a.m. There's
Lots of criminals over here.
That's the sirens.
that's not exactly my
Like,
type. I'm just
okay.
saying physically. If you saw my track record, you would understand. But yeah, I understand where people are coming from when it comes to like wanting commitment or a long-term relationship, that it could be a little bit dicey out here. Because I listened to a previous podcast of yours and somebody mentioned Peter Pan syndrome, and I definitely feel that. Honestly, I feel like I showed up a little bit with that too. Like when I first was single, like nobody really wants to grow up, like just have fun, always wants like the next best thing. And I can tell if you're going into dating with the intention, like, I want to meet my person, I want to settle down, it could be a little discouraging.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, from your perspective, do men or women have it harder in the dating scene?
Mm.
That's a tough one. But
That is a tough one. Now I feel like men do, because women, including me, I guess, they like their standards are a lot higher, which I think is great. Like, I don't know if it's because of like social media or just like whole women's movement and stuff. And also women do talk very poorly about men, and like some of it's warranted, but also like they are human beings and like they don't deserve that. And I feel like getting that constant feedback could be really discouraging when it comes to like the dating
yeah.
field and scene. But also on the other end, like there are a lot of really great women who would make incredible partners that I have seen get screwed over time and time again.
Yeah.
I think there's probably like maybe 2% of these guys out here that are like bad guys that everybody thinks about, and they're just kind
Yeah.
of like, all over town, and then that's
Mhm.
why they get a bad rap, and it almost feel bad for some of the guys that are like good guys that are trying
Yeah.
to, because then they see like women come on and say like, oh, it's terrible out here,
Mhm.
but maybe they're just not at the bars every weekend, and
Yeah.
and I'm trying to make it a little bit better for the guys that watch this too,
Yeah.
because there's been a lot of man hate on here, but
Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to earn some points for the men.
yeah,
but
yeah.
Maybe they don't deserve it. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
Absolutely. And I think I'm lucky too, because like my first 2 long-term relationships were with really great men.
Yeah.
So I came in the dating field very naive. I'm like, oh, all men are great. Like, it's not that bad. And then I got to see what like some people were talking about. But I mean, yeah, I've let it like create like a jadedness in me for a little bit, but I'm definitely past that. And I'm like, there are great guys out there. Like, they're
Mhm.
not all bad. I'm not going to let a couple bad experiences tell me that all men out there are like that. I've had to work very hard on that mindset.
Hey, that's a good, it's a good
I like
mindset
that.
to think that
Yeah,
there
I
are
like
good
that.
guys out there. Because if you're just like walking around and it's like, I'm never going to find love, you'll probably never find love
Oh
if
my
that's
gosh,
like
yeah.
the outlook you have on it. But we'll get into past dating. I do want to do a segment real quick,
Mhm.
brought to you by our sponsor. Do you want to do one?
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna roll our sponsor real quick. Okay, that's
One of these times I'm just not going to roll it. It's just going to be us silent.
yeah. Okay, great. So anyway, instead of modern dating, this is going to be called holistic dating.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, because of your background and what you do. Have you ever used astrology as an excuse to break things off with a guy?
Surprisingly, no. I
Okay.
really don't know a whole lot about astrology.
Okay.
I believe in it, but I really only know about mine, and I'm a Libra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Virgos over here.
Mhm.
Still don't know
Nice.
what that means,
I
but
don't know either, but you guys seem nice.
Okay. Yes. Do you have a bad date recovery self-care like routine that you do after you have a bad date?
That's such a cute question. I love it. I do, definitely. Like, dating takes a lot of energy, even if it's just for fun. Like, I pick up on people's energy a lot. And like, if I'm in company with somebody that maybe we didn't really vibe well, or if they kind of drained me a little bit, I almost always like make sure that I either take that evening or the next day. I will always go to a yoga class. I meditate every day regardless, but just creating a space for me to just like reconnect with my body and remind myself, like even if that wasn't the greatest experience, it's just learning. Like, I'm gathering information of what I like, what I don't like. And I usually try to give myself a little bit of a break. So it's like, no dates for the next like week or two, or if like I'm always on and off, not always on and off the dating apps. I usually take like months at a time that I'm off of it. But if I am using a dating app, I usually just like let's delete that off my phone for
Do
a
you
little
just
bit.
sage your phone, after all the
Wait,
bad
how did I
texts?
even mention that? I absolutely sage. I sage if I have honestly,
Mhm.
I've only had one guy in my apartment for the past like 2 years. And I can't say that I've saged after he left. I felt like I didn't have to, but if that was a regular thing, I would
Okay.
definitely be saging.
Okay. Okay. Have you ever uttered the words "I'm on a healing journey" instead of just telling the guy you didn't really like him or weren't interested in him?
I have not, but I have definitely been guilty of being like, sounding like literally what I don't want to say sounding like a man, but I have a lot going on right now and I need to focus
Damn,
on
that's a
other
good one.
stuff.
Yeah.
But like, is it a good one? Everybody knows what it means when
Yeah.
you hears it.
Yeah. But it's a nicer
Yeah,
way to say,
yeah.
"Hey, I'm not like really into you."
Yeah,
That's-
I will never ghost somebody. It does not feel good to be ghosted, and I'm a very straight up person. I'm a very straight up person, and I know how to have hard conversations. So it does not feel good. It feels like pulling teeth when you have to have that conversation, but I'll do it because I owe it to
just a
them.
text or
I've had it both in person and over text,
oh, okay.
preferably over text. Even
The
though
old
that's-
ways of saying it in person. That's
Yeah.
scary. If you had to create like a manifestation mantra of your dating life, what would it be?
Ooh, I like this. What is for me will not pass me.
Ooh,
Yeah.
you had it right on the.
Yes,
Oh,
because
okay.
I love saying that. It's like
Okay.
one of my favorites.
Okay, is it working?
I mean, I am single right
Okay.
now, but like I do truly believe like when something ends with somebody or it doesn't work out, like I'll let myself feel all the feels, but I do truly believe like the people that are meant for me, they'll find their way for me and or find their way to me and it's going to work out. And the people that even if I really wanted it to work out, if it doesn't, there's a reason.
Okay. If it's like a bad breakup, like how long are you in that mindset of healing until you're kind of back out there?
Yeah, that's a good question. My first relationship that was 5 years, honestly, I don't know if it's because I was young or we kind of both felt like it was like over before it actually ended. Like I felt like I was fine like 6 months later, and like that's when I met my last boyfriend in relationship. That one took me a very long time to get over just because it was like we were like in the talking stages of possibly like getting engaged, like taking the next steps. And I was the one that kind of like initiated that and it was very hard to like process all of that. It took me easily a year and a half to like even start like having my brain be like, "Oh, you could be open to like other stuff." So there's really not a time frame exactly. It could be a couple weeks, it could be a couple years.
What do you do?
Could you repeat the question?
Isaac's in his own little world.
Okay.
Wait, what was the question? I don't
I actually don't know the question.
Oh, how long?
How long does it take to
How
heal?
long does it take for you?
To heal?
Yeah.
It depends. My last one took a while. Took me, I mean, that was during COVID, so I got completely like separated from the world.
Oh, no,
And
yeah, that's rough.
that was a rough healing journey because I felt like I lost my identity through a lot of things. Happened to go through a breakup at that time. But I feel like now that I'm maybe a little more healthier and more confident. I mean, for one, it depends, how long you've been seeing the person, your attachment, but
Maybe
6 months
attachment.
maybe. We'll throw that out there
That's a
if,
good
if
one.
you need
That's
a number.
That's a good time frame. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your longest relationship?
Mine's a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah. Yep. It was in college too. So
Nice.
it was, it's been a while. Yeah.
I like hearing that from men because I've met a lot of guys out here and I know my friends have that they're like, oh, maybe 3 months or I've never been in a long-term relationship. So honestly, it just feels good to hear like, oh, there are a lot of guys that have long-term committed.
Mine was
Yeah.
five
Yeah.
years. That was the longest. And we were engaged and it just didn't work out. And so
Do you think that's a red flag if they've never been in anything long term?
Again, nothing's black and white. It's not always a red flag. I feel like
Yeah.
women's natural instinct is to go to like, oh, they fear commitment or there's something like wrong with them. But we don't know. Like the only way
Yeah.
that you find out is if you continue to get to know them.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
there's a reason, you probably will find out sooner or later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you admire a guy that's in like a healthy long-term relationship rather than somebody that hasn't, maybe gone there?
I mean, I don't want to like say one's necessarily better than the other because like maybe the other person just like wants that, but they haven't met somebody that like connects with them on that level. But I do definitely respect it because like as somebody who's been in a long-term relationship and like you probably resonate too, like relationships take work and you have to continually choose the person every single day. Like my opinion is like love starts out as a feeling and then it turns into a choice, especially like the longer that you're with somebody. And yeah, I do admire people that, especially men, that choose to take that path.
Okay. If you could put your ex's energy into a crystal, what would that crystal be?
Wow, that's a good question. Did you get that from ChatGPT?
All these questions are from
Oh my
ChatGPT.
gosh, I
Not
love
all.
it.
Do you know, hey, here's a fun fact of the podcast. ChatGPT named this podcast.
As it should.
did,
I love that. Oh my gosh.
I was like thinking, I was like, what if we just called it, Why Are You Single? Like,
That's probably eye-catching.
Much better. Yeah.
Oh, that's hard. I'll just say rose quartz just because he was a very warm and loving person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
If he were to hear this, he'd probably be like, that's dumb. I don't want to be a pink crystal, but that's just what came to mind.
If your dating history was a yoga pose, what would that be?
Ooh.
Thank you, chat.
Shavasana, complete surrender, because I've had some crazy experiences and all I could do is just ride the waves.
I love Shavasana.
That's most people's favorite.
I don't know what that means, but
It's when you're just laying there at the end.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
What is Isaac's aura saying right now?
You guys have me painted in such a picture. I'm cracking up.
All your shits.
I'm so happy I give off this kind of energy. You have yellow.
Yellow.
Yellow. I honestly don't know what it means, but like it's light and airy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll take
He's
that.
like, I want to run away right now.
Do me.
Stop perceiving me. I get purple from you.
What does
I
that
literally have no idea what any of this means,
Okay.
but I'm just thinking of the first color that comes to mind.
Okay. Well, I'll take it, I guess.
I was
Well,
gonna say
you have to go to
black.
ChatGPT
Yeah,
after this and ask
see
what it means.
Okay. And that's the end of our segment there.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
fun little segment. Let's start it off. Do you believe in love at first sight, or is it just lust?
I don't believe in love at first sight. I think it's lust for sure.
So it's never happened to you.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I've been like crazy attracted to somebody and then it turned into love. So
That's how it works. I feel
yeah,
like.
I'm very slow, like getting there with people. Like that's why I was like, love bombing doesn't work with me. I'm like,
Okay.
dude, you don't even know me. Like, why are you talking to me like that? So I can't say like I'd look at someone and be like, wow, I love them. I could be crazy attracted to them, and I would consider that lust, and it can turn into love. But
I think love bombing for like a girl to a guy, I think that's kind of a turn off. Do you think like most guys would say that?
Depends on the guy, but
Yeah.
for me, yeah.
because men
Definitely.
love the chase.
Men love the chase.
Yeah, and it kind of freaks me out if they're coming on too heavy. It's like, okay, there's probably a reason for that. Like,
That's my thought process too. And I'm like, are you emotionally immature? Like,
Yeah.
like, has this worked for you in the past? Are your relationship's pretty like tumultuous? Like, oh,
Are you desperate?
yeah, for sure.
It's something about a little toxicity that's always fun. But hey, what are your take on ghosts?
Ghosts.
Yeah.
I believe him for sure.
Okay. I saw a little video on your Instagram.
I'm trying to think what video about ghosts.
I thought it said something about like talking to ghosts.
Oh, okay. You guys really did your research, and I knew you guys would, but this is like reminding me stuff. It was like a little podcast that my friend and I did, and I personally don't have experience with that, but I have a lot of like my girlfriends. I feel like they have like spiritual capabilities or something. Like they've just told me really crazy stories about like connecting with spirits and like I understand like if you hear that and you're like that shit's not real. But like the stuff that they've told me, and they're literally this like some of the smartest people I know that have like master's degrees, and they're very grounded in reality, and they're like, yo, I've had this experience. So I totally believe in them.
Would you haunt your ex?
No, I want my ex to win, dude. Like I hope
Yeah.
he's doing well. I
good.
haunt other
That's
people, but
No, yeah.
yeah.
Other people.
Other people.
Do you think like once a cheater, always a cheater?
That's something that's really hard. I don't like to put people in boxes because I feel like everybody's able to like redeem themselves. But I've personally, as far as I know, I've never been cheated on, and I've never dated somebody that's cheated on somebody. And I know people can listen to this and be like, oh, she's naive. Maybe I am. But it does scare me. Like if I do ask people that, like when I get to know them, I'm like, have you ever cheated? And they're like, yeah, like I have. It does scare me. I don't like completely cut them off, but I do have that thought in my head.
Okay.
And there's also like, there's like scientific evidence too about like if you have like an immediate family member that's cheated, like there's a higher risk that you do. But also, again, that's putting people in a box. If you don't want to cheat, don't cheat.
Yeah, I'm not going to defend the cheater because then I'm going to look like a cheater. So I'm gonna go into the
You're like,
question.
next.
What do you think about guys that sit to pee?
You might be in the room with one.
Well, no.
I don't
it's
judge
not
them. I
me.
mean, if you got to sit to pee, whatever.
I stand 6 feet away because I'm so manly.
I have a question back to you. What do you think about people that stand before they wipe their ass?
I could see if maybe you're like sitting down, do a couple, maybe stand up, do a couple.
Yeah.
You know, maybe
Yeah.
getting your squats in.
Yeah, but if you wait till you stand, then like,
Oh, you wait for you stand
Yeah.
first. Yeah, I'm not into that. I have a bidet, so
yes, you do.
I have a bidet. Is that weird? What do you think about guys with bidets?
Amazing.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Nice.
I have not come across many. I've come across like several of like my girlfriends with them, but
Just a life changer, I think. It's
yeah,
I don't poop, so I'm good.
he puts in
that's
as
not
many-
healthy, dude. You need to get that checked out.
He
I
puts
just burn my calories.
yeah,
so.
he puts as many calories in that he needs, and he doesn't have any waste.
Yeah.
I wish I had that problem.
Yeah, don't go into his bathroom and look at his toilet. He's a fucking liar. Why do you think people get like stuck in an unhealthy or unhappy relationship?
Probably stems from their childhood. I don't want to get too like, dark or whatnot, but yeah, I feel like a lot of us just absorb what goes on around us, like in our upbringing, and it's like a blueprint that we think's like normal, and we also crave familiar chaos over unfamiliar like peace because that's just how like our nervous system's wired, and if they're used to that over and over again, it makes sense why they get stuck in those things because they're like, oh, it feels familiar. It might feel like hell, but it feels familiar, which is like sad to think about. But I
Just
also,
how they grew up too. If they
yeah.
were-
And I'm not saying like they have to have grown up like that. Like there's definitely instances where like people probably, it's like a dopamine like hit cycle. It's like, oh, all this bad stuff. And then a couple like good experiences and it gives you that dopamine hit. And then it's like a continuous cycle.
I feel
So
like,
it's an
yeah,
addiction.
For some people too, they find like a good healthy relationship and it scares them a little bit, and
Yeah.
you know they kind of run away from it, but and go back to what they're used to almost.
Yeah, and that's something like I've definitely like explored that too because like marriage and stuff has always like scared me, and like that's kind of why my last relationship ended. One, because I've never been alone and I know I wanted to experience that. I was 26 at the time. Yeah. And like he was talking about like marriage and like kids and everything, and I still don't know how I like feel like with kids, but that thought is something that I've definitely like tried to like explore. I'm like, oh, like am I like low key afraid of like a healthy, happy marriage because like I don't really know what that is, or
What was missing in the last one? Like if you could, you know, put something into it that was missing to where you would have been married, like what was missing?
it was our values. Like
Okay.
he was dead set. He was like, I want to have kids, and I respected him enough too. I'm like, well, I don't want to stay with you, and like, what if I reach like 32, 33, and like I still don't want to have kids? And then he just spent so much time like building a life with me And
Are you 50-50 on that? Or
I honestly
70-30?
like growing up all my life, I was like, I don't want to have kids. Like for sure, I don't want to have kids. But honestly, as I get older, and I know people told me that this was going to happen, I'm more open to it. I feel like maybe it's easier said now because I'm single and I don't even have an opportunity for that. But as I see like people like dive into that and like think of like of how like fulfilling that would be having a kid, my mind like starts to wonder. So I can't put numbers on it. Like I'm definitely not 100% no, nowhere near 100% yes.
I think there's like two camps. It's you have kids and then your life is, you don't have to put things to the side, but sometimes you do, and then it revolves around making sure these kids aren't fucked up. You gotta like get them through 18 plus years, and then even to when they're adults, you're still parenting, right? But and then other people that just kind of want to go out and maybe have that life of their dreams, and so I don't know, that could look scary too. So.
Yeah, I definitely go back and forth, and also just I know so much about the human body. I'm like, if I could have a surrogate, I would probably totally be down.
How much does that cost?
A lot.
Oh, okay.
Like probably at least 100K.
Jeez.
I don't know. We'd have to go to ChatGPT for that, though. I could be
Yeah.
wrong,
Chat.
but I know it's expensive.
Chat.
Yeah.
Let me look it up. Hopefully this
Audio
doesn't
boy.
mess up the audio.
I told
let's take a
my
look.
my ex that I was like, I'd be much more open to it if like we could have a surrogate, and he was like, I don't want to fuck another girl. I was like, one, you're probably lying. Two, that's not how it
It's
works.
just healthier if I do it than them implanting it. So
So yeah, apparently it's not a common. Well, I don't know how many people understand surrogacy.
yeah.
Yeah, this is saying it costs typically between 90,000 to 150,000.
Good God.
Of course, I know that off the top of my head because I've looked into it before.
Yeah. What point in the relationship do you like share a passcode or share your location?
I've actually never shared my location with anybody. I don't even think I use Find My Friends.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just passcode. What do you mean by passcode?
Like, how to get in the phone. Or...
Oh, I honestly have never thought about that.
I do it first day. Try to scare them off.
You actually need to put an air tag on her.
I put an air tag in there when they're filling up, like the gas tank.
Yeah,
You know
sorry, I
someone
don't.
who's done
Not
that.
sure. We do know somebody that's
Yeah.
done that.
I don't have a good answer for that. I apologize.
Yeah. Any hot takes lately, or maybe unpopular dating opinions?
Ooh.
You can mull that over if you want to.
Okay, I have a couple. I feel like a lot of people sometimes have too high of expectations for what they're looking for in a person when they themselves don't even match that. And I'm like a really big believer, like you can't expect something from somebody unless you could provide that yourself. I do think it's stronger, like maybe like girls have like these standards that men should reach, which they absolutely should. But like sometimes I'm like, you have to self-reflect. Like I've found myself in that position where I'm like, he has to do this, this, and that. And I'm like, if that person was right in front of me, I would have no idea how to act, nor do I possess like those qualities in myself yet. And I do truly believe like you should just try to like be the kind of person that you want to date. And I know like if you want to go and date like a rich man, you don't necessarily have to go and try to be a rich man, but that's like my thought process on it. And I say that's
date a rich woman over here.
there you go. And I say that's a hot take because I don't want people to think that I'm a pick me, being like, girls need to do this. Because honestly, like there's a lot of really incredible women that lower their standards and they shouldn't do that.
I'm not trying to date a rich woman. I don't know.
I mean, that's okay if you want. Go for it.
Anyway, hey, you said you were very sex positive. You said that before?
When did I say that? Oh, wait. Okay. Yes. I remember now.
Hey, okay. So what's something about sex that you wish people were more comfortable talking about?
Yeah, I think I honestly think it just has a bad rap. Like people automatically like hear the word like sex positive and they're like, oh, they're promiscuous and they sleep around a lot and all that. And I'm like, if you do that, cool, more power to you. That's not me. When I say that, I just think like people are so uncomfortable talking about it. And that's why so many people cheat, because they have unmet needs. They don't get to like explore like certain things that they would love to be able to explore with a partner. I just think literally verbalizing and creating a safe space for like you and your partner, because like that is like everybody has a fear of rejection, and that would be really scary. I'm sorry.
Has that ever bitten you in the butt?
Yes, it has, and we're not going to talk about it on here.
Okay, yeah.
I just realized I went on a rant and then I completely contradicted myself with that. I don't even know where to go with that anymore after I just caught myself.
Hey, well, it was good advice.
It was, until I realized that I didn't even follow it.
Yeah. Well, we won't talk about that experience, but what's your take on body count conversations? Is it relevant or outdated?
I do think it's outdated, and it's something that doesn't need to happen. But I also understand, like, I understand if it's important to somebody. And like my take on it is, if like a man expects like a woman's body count to be a certain level, you better be able to match that. Because I've seen so many men that have body counts of like 80, and they're like, oh, a girl in the double digits, that's disgusting. And I'm like, dude, look at yourself.
Do you think it's the same?
I understand how, like, in a way it's different, men versus women, but I also think it's sexist and stupid. And like, if a guy came to me like expecting my body count to be 1.5 and his is 80, I would just laugh in his face.
Isaac thinks differently. You tell her your point.
My point? No, I actually agree with that. I feel like you shouldn't be setting high expectations that you don't hold yourself to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's a very fair point.
Yeah, like if you want somebody with a low body count and you have one, cool. Yeah, but I've seen too many men that are way up there trying to have Little Miss Innocent, and that makes me want to vomit.
Mm-hmm. It's good. I'm not going to fight back on that. I'm walking my thoughts myself. Just kidding. Okay, so I mean, what's your thought on like casual sex? I mean, is it like diminishing, you think, or do you think it's fine?
Yeah, that's actually something that I've definitely like. It's a good topic to dive into, because like I was in 2 long-term relationships, so I really wasn't with a whole lot of people. But I also know myself, and like I am a very sensitive person, and I absorb people's energy a lot. And I've tried it, and like I've had like a couple instances where I like did it successfully, where I was like, okay, cool, that felt empowering, or like ongoing friends with benefits. But for the most part, it doesn't feel good for me. And it's so hard. Like there's not a black and white answer to that. Like my opinion is, if for you it can feel empowering, amazing, do it. If it doesn't feel empowering, you don't have to. Because I've definitely like battled that. I'm like, I have so many girlfriends that are able to just like go out and have so much fun and feel empowered. And then like when I do, it's not like that I get attached and everything. It's like I'm like too connected to this person and I don't even know them. And then I just like go away. I don't know what that means or exactly why it happens, but regardless, it doesn't feel good. So again, I've had some positive experiences with it, but for like the most part, for me, it's not for me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like the guys that are out there and maybe they're rolling through the city or doing whatever, it probably feels like momentary, like dopamine hits or like, a boost and confidence. But I don't think you really gain. I think it diminishes. Like I would say just from a guy's perspective, like if that's what you're all about and you like doing that, I don't think it sets yourself up for success in the long run, like in a relationship where it's, like a healthy one,
Yeah. And like, I know there's something called like pair bonding, and I don't really know exactly like how I feel about that. Yeah. But anecdotally, going back to science, I feel like the guys that I have like known or been intimate with that have not crazy high, you can have whatever body count you want. They're the ones that usually have more short-term relationships that don't want to commit, versus the ones that don't really have that high of ones. They're the ones that are more like inclined to long-term relationships. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but that's something that I've kind of noticed.
Okay.
We had that dating coach on, and don't know the science behind it.
I listened to that one and I liked it.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good episode. But yeah, he was saying like one of his biggest tips for, modern day dating is just to wait. And, especially if you're looking for something more long term, that's, one of the better things you can do.
Yeah. And like I know people that have hooked up like first date, now they're getting married, but like for me in my long-term relationships, I've always waited at least a short amount of time. And it also just like it makes me just like feel weird when I sleep with somebody before I
You
feel
don't even know
ready.
their intentions either.
Exactly.
Like
And like I said, I'm sensitive. I
if
feel
If
everything.
your heart gets hurt easily, and you're constantly running into that stuff too. I mean, like you got to pump the brakes a little bit because you never know somebody who's just trying to sleep with you and then move on to the next. And if you're actually out there trying to, find a relationship,
Yeah.
I mean, sleeping with somebody on the first night, I mean, yes, it can work out, but
Yeah.
you never know.
And also on like my crazy woo spiritual nervous system side, like when I say like I absorb people's energy, like everybody
It's like
does
soul
that.
ties,
And like even like I know like even if I didn't like sleep with somebody, if I've hooked up with somebody and I know they have really bad anxiety or they're working through a lot or they're going through a dark time, I literally carry that with me for like a week after. And I know it sounds silly and people are probably like, oh, you're like sound dramatic, but it's a real thing. I've experienced it time and time again. And it's okay to be picky with who you like share that kind of energy exchange with. And it's also okay if you don't want to and you just want to go and hook up with people.
It's true. It's true. Okay. Well, let's get into maybe some of the business side. I do kind of want to ask a little bit. So like I said, yoga teacher, like the holistic healing, like how can we fix our circadian rhythms over here?
Okay, circadian rhythm. Yeah. So we are so disconnected from just nature in general. Like we are sitting in fluorescent light right now in a big box after our work day.
I'm trying to go ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And just doing that time and time again. And it just, there's so many different things that go with it, but really you just want to try to get connected to nature as much as you can. So like right when you wake up, like don't grab your phone, don't lay in bed for like 20, 30 minutes, like if possible. I know it's like, for me, it's easy because I have a dog. So like naturally I just get up and go outside, and you're in an apartment complex. I get it. Like there's a whole process, but ideally you want to try to expose your eyes to natural sunlight within the first like 5 to 15 minutes that you're awake. And it doesn't even have to be a long time, even if it's just 5 minutes, regularly doing that. And then just trying to keep the same sleep wake cycle helps a ton. So maybe not staying up till 3 o'clock watching Severance. I'm like, if you really want me to go into all this, I will, but also I don't want to bore people. There's all sorts of stuff that you can do, and I'm happy to throw anything out there, but it's possible. Anybody can change.
I'm listening to Huberman here, I feel like. Do you ever listen to that?
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of his stuff.
I'll die on that hill. It's a good podcast. Fight or flight.
Yeah.
How do you get out of that if somebody's only ever known that?
Yeah, that's definitely a loaded question. Okay. And like the stuff that I offer, like I'm not a therapist or like a mental health professional. So what I look at it through like a physiological lens. And again, there's a lot more that goes into it. I actually just had this conversation with somebody. They were like, if I wanted to get started with like nervous system work, where do I start? And I kind of just like shared what my experience was. Like one, if you feel drawn to like trying therapy and just like learning about your upbringing, childhood, certain triggers, that can be really beneficial, because if you have underlying triggers that you're just like unaware of, you're going about your day-to-day life just constantly getting sent over to like that fight or flight without even realizing it. So therapy is really good. Outside of therapy, like if you just want to focus on like free tools or stuff that's already within you, focusing on breath work is really good. And speaking of Huberman, have you ever heard of the physiological sigh?
No.
Yeah.
Can we do one?
Yeah, we could do one. It's one of the like easiest ways to downregulate your nervous system. And what I mean by downregulate is like you're always constantly going like a healthy nervous system is one that's able to ebb and flow back and forth. You're not supposed to just be on one side over the other. But sometimes if you're too upregulated, like really antsy, anxious, like ready to like fight, flight, all that stuff, a physiological sigh helps downregulate it, get you back closer to your sympathetic nervous system. So if you want to do it, what you do, you can just get in a comfortable seated position.
We're all going to do one.
Yes.
Was that do it?
Well, I honestly didn't see what he did.
Okay.
Close.
Okay.
So you can close your eyes down or soften your gaze out in front of you. And then release an open mouth, audible sigh. Let something go. And then inhale deep into your nose. And then you pause at the top on your inhale through your nose, and then you sip it in a little bit more through your nose. So you take one inhale, pause at the top, a little bit more of an inhale, and then open mouth, slow sigh. Isaac looks like he's fighting for his life.
Wow.
But if you just do that a couple times, like that little pause at the top with another inhale through your nose and then exhale, that can help like ground you.
I'm sweating less now.
There you go. But yeah, there's like all sorts of stuff, whether it's breath work, yoga, connecting to nature, grounding. I know people make fun of grounding. I will die on that hill. It is a real thing.
The grounding sheets like that you plug in.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's a thing.
My mom got me one, and I'm like,
Does it work?
I'm like 50-50 on what that feels like, and it's hard to tell because she got me that right when I started like my functional health protocol.
Okay.
I used to get chronic migraines every day. Like I had to go on medical disability. I have maybe had 1 or 2 migraines.
Okay.
But I don't want to say it's just because of that grounding.
Ground out here. It's all like you can do it on cement though, right?
Yeah,
I'm not,
you
like,
can.
Getting barefoot out on this street.
That's another big reason why I'm like, I don't want to live in the city anymore. I'm like, I'm gonna step on a needle or something walking around.
You like grounding?
Not very familiar.
Grounding is when you drink 34 beers and you wake up on the ground.
That's Isaac's form of grounding.
No, I knew this girl who, it was something like she took copper wires like from her yard to her bed. Is that
that's kind of what it is.
Okay.
It's like a certain material that helps conduct the electromagnetic.
You stick a fork into the outlet
and hope for the best. Yeah.
You don't try that later.
Okay, yeah, let's go try that. So like, give us like 3 things we could do today that's gonna like enhance our like just like instantly the quality of life that we have.
Okay. 3 things today. Usually these things will like compact over time, help you get better. But one is going to bed before 10 o'clock. So ideally, like nobody actually goes to bed before 10 o'clock. I mean, sometimes people do, but between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is like where you reach your most deep restorative rest. So like if you go to sleep at 3 o'clock, you literally completely skip that for the evening. So ideally trying to go to bed before 10 o'clock. And if you can't do that, at least get 8 hours of sleep. Like at least 8 hours of sleep. That's one thing. So sleep. The second one is making sure that you're eating like 3 balanced meals with like 2 snacks in between to make sure that you are keeping like your blood sugar regulated. And I say balanced by making sure you're not just like eating pasta. You're eating pasta with a pasta is a carb. Pasta with a protein and fat. And another one would be trying to go on like a 30-minute or 40-minute walk every day. Have you ever heard of EMDR?
No.
It's like a form of therapy, like to help process trauma. And like, it's not like you don't have to do it for trauma, but simply like you having your eyes go side to
where
side.
they're like waving back and forth?
Yes.
Okay.
When you walk, you just naturally do that. Like your eyes go side to side, and that's how like that form of therapy was actually discovered. Is like a therapist was out walking, like processing stuff, and they're like, oh wait, this actually helps. So just walking, like it helps you like get into your emotional body, decrease stress. You're outside, even if like the sun's not shining on you, you still get that natural air, natural light. So yeah, I think sleep, food, and going on walks.
Okay. Mm-hmm. No alcohol?
No. Honestly, there's no place for alcohol when it comes to being healthy, but also we're human. And if you want to drink here and there, go for it.
Okay. Okay. Maybe we should stop drinking.
You mentioned the phone one earlier. That's been a huge one for me. I actually got the Brick. Shout out to them. I don't know. It's like a phone blocker.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Every morning my phone is completely blocked and I have to like go out to the fridge to scan it, which I won't do till like midday. And that's been such a huge change for me.
Wait, that's awesome. Is that what?
Yeah. It's on the fridge right there.
I'm inspired to get that. It's huge.
It's honestly so nice. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
changed a lot. Yeah.
I feel so much better on the days like I wait at least 30 minutes to touch my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just hop on Instagram or TikTok and then I feel like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's just, it's out of habit at this point. Like we all
it's
do
not
it.
good. It's not good. Okay, well, let's get into kind of what you're looking for then.
Okay.
Marriage or long-term relationship? Are you kind of just hanging out right now, or what does that look like?
Yeah, I am definitely at a point that I'm open to a long-term relationship. I'm not in any rush for it, and I definitely am fine taking my time finding that to make sure that we're a good fit. I'm open to marriage. It's not like I necessarily date for marriage. I date to get to know somebody and hopefully it ends up going towards that direction. But also I'm not going to force something just because I know I'm 29. Most of my friends are engaged or married or have kids, and just society standards, it's oh, I'm behind, I should have all of that. I don't feel like that, honestly. Even if in the back of my mind it's oh, what you doing, I really don't feel like that. I'm fine taking my time because I have the rest of my life to be married to somebody. But yeah, I'm definitely long-term relationship, not really into flings or short-term stuff. I'm ready to connect with somebody on a deeper level and make a fun life. I love my life. I love all the adventures I go on, and I would really like to share that with somebody.
Nice. And what's that somebody look like? What's your type?
What's my type?
Criminals, right?
Criminals, other than criminals that you want to share.
I feel like those were my type right after I was in my emotionally unavailable era for a reason, because I don't know. But physically, emotionally, or everything.
Let's do physical.
Physical. My friends laugh at me because I have to a T a type. I usually tattooed men with mustaches, long hair, and decently healthy
That's
and
why
fit.
you picked that guy on the pod. He had the long hair, tattoos.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I say I want them to be tall, but I'm only 5'3.5", and I've gone on dates with people that are 5'7" and stuff. In my mind, I'm oh, I want them to be tall, but it's honestly fine if they're not. I will say it's a double. This is me just going off on a tangent. I feel bad for men on dating apps, because if I met an attractive person that was 5'7", 5'8" in person, I would definitely give them a chance, but I don't know why I physically can't on a dating app. I just go next.
Just easier to go next and see what else is out there.
Yeah. Okay, so what were we talking about?
So any tattooed mustache men with long hair out there, reach out to Brianna here.
Yes, but it's okay if you don't have that too.
Yeah. And if you're 5'8", you could still reach out. She might just
make sure you're covered in tattoos.
Yeah. And if you've got a record, that's okay with her.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. If you're in jail right now.
No.
Yeah, maybe not. Okay, so personality-wise,
I want somebody who's very open-minded, and I know I mentioned unconventional earlier, and what I mean by that is they're just open to different viewpoints. They're not necessarily trying to go through life just checking off boxes oh, I'm this age, I should find a woman, I should get married, I should have a kid with her, just so I can hold up an image. Somebody that's okay with maybe going off the beaten path, whether that's finding somebody and traveling the world, or maybe I want to say starting a business with them, but also maybe not, because that would be interesting, starting a business with your significant other. Funny, you have to be funny, not take everything so.
Humor?
I love to joke about stuff as a way of coping, so I think I do joke about stuff that's kind of dark sometimes. But not necessarily straight up dark humor. They have to be very, very respectful of women. I pick up on that fast. I listen to how men talk about women, whether it's just in passing or to their friends, and I clock that immediately. And I will not date somebody if I hear them talk about women in a certain way. So yeah, respectful. And I like kind guys, not just kind to me, but if there's somebody in need that needs the door held, they're going to go do that, or offering a helping hand. I've dated people that would go above and beyond for my friends, and I love that, and it's very important to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should men always pay for the first date?
I knew you guys were going to ask this. I want to say no, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, if they expect me to split, my mind instantly is like, "Oh, we're on a friend date. Okay,
Just pay for it.
you're never gonna see me naked." So yeah, I don't like. I will not date. I genuinely don't care about money. Like, I don't expect a man to like just be my sole provider and like pay. And like, I really don't have that expensive of a taste. Like, I don't care about that. But also, I'm like, yeah, I want them to pay
I
on the
feel like it's
first
more
date.
the gesture than like financial. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a very kind, gentlemanly
Yeah.
gesture. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I will say every date that they had me like pay for my coffee, or if I offer to split and they go, yeah,
What
I'm
if
like,
they want you to pay for the whole thing?
immediately no.
Okay.
And I mean, if
What if they forgot their wallet?
then I will, but I'll be like, I'll remember that. I'll be clocking that.
What's like a big ick or turn off other than being disrespectful?
Yeah.
Like kind of maybe it could even be kind of petty that you're like this ain't going anywhere.
Okay. Well, I said love bombing. Being addicted to your phone. If you keep checking your phone when you're with me, like I literally want to pick it up and fling it.
Yeah.
No, put that shit away. That's not that petty though. I'm trying to think of something petty. What's something petty?
Isaac likes to look in every mirror he passes. And,
Oh, I
Flex
don't know
a
what it
little
is
bit.
about mirrors. They always look so good.
they're always looking at him.
I honestly wouldn't mind that. I'm like, hey, if you're confident in yourself, go for
He likes to
it.
give a little flex in the mirror.
Yeah.
I mean, if you worked hard on your body, why not? Yeah, I can't think. I definitely know I have them, but I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like past experiences, anything that you've learned from them that you're gonna take into the next relationship?
Yeah. Obviously, like, be smart when you're dating people, but don't like stress yourself out trying to like guess somebody's next move or like where you're at. It just takes time to get to know somebody, know their intentions, and you're gonna drive yourself insane if you're just racking your brain overanalyzing their what their intentions are, what their next moves. Like, I've had guys treat me incredible and are so respectful, and then I find out they have a girlfriend, and like, yeah, that just sucks. But also I'm like, you really like, obviously there are some red flags like that can help you, but I'm like, I've been blindsided before and it just showed me again, Shavasana, surrender. I'm like, their true intentions will show intentionally.
Imagine having 2 girlfriends. It sounds like a lot of work, you know? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that would be awful.
He claimed it wasn't his girlfriend, but it was his girlfriend.
What are your red flags?
My red flags. My friends call me avoidant. I used to not be, but I think after like just life experiences, I turned kind of towards that way, but I would like to think I'm a lot better now.
Okay.
And not like avoidant in the way when it comes to like big commitments, like if it's marriage or something. It's just, yeah, it kind of like, it gives me anxiety, but I know there's somebody out there that will work through that anxiety with me and will be able to figure it out as it goes. So that's probably a red flag.
Maybe you just haven't met the right guy yet. You know, it could be.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just like comparing it to like my last experience, but like we had different values and a different like trajectory of where we wanted to go. So obviously that was going to cause me anxiety. Other red flags. I know people hate when they say they're bad at texting, but I genuinely like out of sight, out of mind. I lose my phone 10 times a day. I will mentally reply to something and completely forget about it. Like, I will do literally anything for my friends except reply to their text messages.
Yeah. We have a bunch of friends like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I do get around to it and everything. And like, they are all aware, like my phone's always on do not disturb. Like, if you need me, call me 3 times.
Yeah.
And it will like go through. So that's probably another red flag. I definitely have more, but
Okay.
yeah.
What any first date horror stories?
I haven't had any like bad first dates, but I know
Or
you
any
mentioned-
date horror
Yeah.
stories?
I don't even know if this can be considered a date, but I was hanging out with a guy that I was seeing a few years ago, and we were at a bar, and like him and all of his like friends were there, including like some of his family members. And then out of nowhere, his giant brother, who's like just big and muscly and bodybuilder, literally double-handed slapped my ass in front of the entire bar, including his wife and all of his friends and everybody that we were with. And that just like caught me by surprise. And then to make matters worse, to the guy that I was with, so like he was trying to make me feel better. He was like, if it makes you feel any better, he does that to my sister too.
Sounds like you were in the midst of an alpha.
Oh, damn.
He would only refer to me as the hot girlfriend, and he would make me give him like a kiss on the cheek.
Oh,
That's how he greets his sister too? That's not, is that what he just
I don't know,
said?
but that's what. I literally don't. He said he does it to his sister, and that's when I was in therapy years ago. I told my therapist that, and she broke character, and she was like, "There's something fucked up with that man," and I'm like, "I know."
That's just how they greet each other in that family.
And it's the fact, like, oh yeah.
That sounds terrible, actually.
Yeah, that was when I was emotionally blacked out. It was literally a couple weeks after I ended my last relationship, which is the only reason why I found myself in that position.
Oh, well, I wish I had something to say about that, but I really don't.
It's okay. It does leave some people speechless.
I was given, this was back in like early college, I was giving my girlfriend at the time a piggyback, and my little brother who's in middle school went to smack my butt, but he smacked hers on accident.
That's what he said.
He was
That's
so
what he
embarrassed.
said. If that happened, I'd be like, maybe that's a little bit more innocent.
Yeah.
But see, he was embarrassed. This guy, he thought he was the
very
shit.
apologetic.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, Isaac, do you have any questions you want to? Are you?
For time's sake, no.
Okay,
So I got to edit this in like a day and a half.
Okay. Well, okay, last question. We ask all of our guests this. Why are you a catch?
Why am I a catch? Ooh, okay. I think I'm a catch because I do genuinely care about other people's well-being and connecting with them on like a deeper level. And I know I mentioned before, like, oh, I'm avoidant, but I've spent a lot of time like learning about myself and how to show up as best as I can, especially in relationships. So I think that helps build a good foundation for relationships. And there's a good chance that you'll be at least 5% healthier if you date me, because I'll make you do all the weird holistic woo-woo stuff that I do.
There you go. Do you
Yes.
use oils?
I mean, I have a ton of essential oils, but I'm not a guru at them by any means. I don't think that they can cure your cancer, but
Oh, okay.
but I do like believe in them some ways.
Okay.
Yeah.
My mom has 1 billion oils.
Is it doTERRA?
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Isaac's always trying to oil me up too.
Those are the expensive ones. So if she sends you that for free, you should be ecstatic.
Yeah, no, she gave me a bunch of them.
I love how I just went over that. What else we got?
Yeah, I got 2 cartons of baby oil.
Anyway, where can we reach out to you, or where can they reach out to you? Say they wanted to take you on a nice date. Where's your favorite date spot?
Oh, my favorite date spot? Honestly, anywhere in nature. Like
Okay.
if I love, like if
they
we were
wanted
going
to
to
go
picnic.
ground with you, where can they?
Yeah, maybe like, I don't know, Cheeseman Park, Wash Park. Maybe. I don't want to say Boulder Mountain, because like if I don't know you, maybe let's not go into the mountains.
What if he takes his shoes off and he has the worst looking feet ever?
I'm speechless.
No more grounding for him.
Yes, no more. But if you want to reach me, you can find me on Instagram, Balancing with Bri, BRI. Yeah, that's the easiest way to catch me.
Right here.
No, right here.
Sometimes when people ask me and I give them, I see them type in Bouncing with Bri.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's a different account.
I was like, excuse me, no, not that kind of account. Balancing.
That's the OnlyFans account.
That I don't have and I never will.
Yeah.
But it's okay if you do.
And anywhere else they can reach out to you? Or?
I'm not going to give them my phone number, so no.
Not the phone. What's your address?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. And,
Yes. And to the viewers, let us know what we're trying, new formats, trying to, keep retention and all that. Leave some feedback. What you think of that episode? Sorry for the short
nobody's
intro.
still watching.
Yeah, probably not.
They saw my
And
face
hit
and
that
they're out.
subscribe button, please.
Yeah, like and subscribe. I forgot to say that. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.